Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's fanfiction is a cool one. We all remember in Revenge of the Sith when Anakin experiences nightmares of Padme dying in childbirth. This was arguably his core motivator to committing his dark deeds and journeying to become Darth Vader. But what if Anakin never had these visions of Padme dying? Would this change the timeline? Maybe Anakin wouldn't turn to the dark side, or would he still kill the younglings in the Jedi Temple and rule the galaxy as Lord Vader? Let's find out. In this alternate scenario, Anakin Skywalker never has the nightmares of Padme dying in childbirth that plagued him in the original Star Wars storyline. Without these fears and anxieties, Anakin is able to think more clearly and make better, more logical decisions. Anakin is summoned into Palpatine's office, where his crippling manipulation of the boy continues. Palpatine explains to Anakin the dogmatic views of the Jedi, and how there are other paths. Without Anakin having the dreams of Padme dying, the fear of her loss isn't a tether that Palpatine can pull. So he must find other alternatives. He still mentions Padme, but simply explains the danger she will be in if he doesn't join the dark side. Anakin is not swayed by Palpatine's promises of power and safety, but instead becomes suspicious of the Senator's true intentions. How does he know that Padme and him are married, and he is spitting lies about the Jedi? The pieces fall into place fast. Palpatine was the Sith Lord. Anakin exits the room and goes straight to the Jedi Council. The more Jedi he can tell, the better. The young Chosen One is better at making choices. His mind is clear of anxiety as he isn't in a constant state of worry for Padme's life. The council are shocked to hear what Anakin is saying, but they didn't hold concrete proof. If Palpatine was brought before the Senate now, the Republic may not believe the Jedi, and instead accuse them of treason. This was a dangerous time. Yoda, sensing the danger, immediately returns to Coruscant to investigate. Confronting the Chancellor himself was their most direct and powerful move. With enough force, they could convince him to confess. 6 Jedi are sent to the Chancellor's office. Mace Windu, Yoda, Anakin, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Kit Fisto, and Shakti. What you have to remember is that without the nightmares of Padme, Anakin's mind is clear. In Revenge of the Sith, when Mace tells Anakin he senses a great deal of confusion within him. That's because Palpatine is the only person who can save his wife, and Mace can sense that. Now that is not the case, which means Anakin is brought along with them to confront Chancellor Palpatine. The Jedi were expeditious. Entering Palpatine's office diligently, they found him not alone. Anakin dropped to his knees. This is not happening right now, he thought to himself. He shouted at Palpatine to let her go. Palpatine stood, holding Anakin's wife Padme in front of him. Taunting the Jedi and mainly Anakin, he explained the consequences of their treason. Anakin was helpless. If he made any sudden movements, she was dead. All he could do was watch. Palpatine revealed a crimson lightsaber from his sleeve and stabbed Padme Amidala in the back. She fell to the floor, her eyes shut. Anakin sprung to his feet and unleashed this almighty roar. Launching himself at Palpatine, he swung ferociously. He didn't care about anything anymore. His screams echoed all over Coruscant. But Palpatine was able to use the Force to propel him into the wall. Sidious turned to focus his attention on the remaining 5 Jedi, who had their lightsabers ignited. Leaping forward and screaming a Sith cry, the battle commenced. It was fast and fierce. Palpatine moved like a blur as he leaped from one side of the room to the other. Very quickly, Shakti would fall to the floor dead, and Ki-Adi-Mundi would find his head decapitated beside him on the floor. Mace swung with efficiency and determination. Channeling his fighting style of a pod, he rendered Palpatine's darkside abilities useless. Yoda's acrobatics proved difficult for Palpatine to be able to keep up with. 1 second he was stationary on the cold floor, but as soon as he blinked, Yoda was 4 feet in the air, trying to attack from a different angle. Anakin opened his eyes and rejoined the battle. Palpatine took care of Kit Fisto by swinging his sword through his abdomen and killing him. Although Sidious had managed to kill 3 Jedi Masters, the combined strength of Yoda, Mace, and Anakin proved far too powerful. Windu stepped forward and stunned Palpatine before slicing both of his wrists off his arms. His hands dropped to the floor along with his lightsaber. Yoda and Windu sighed in relief, but Anakin continued to press forward to get the finishing blow on Palpatine. He killed Padme, and now he would pay the ultimate price. Yoda intervenes by urging Anakin aside with the Force, explaining that it was over. Palpatine would go to prison for the rest of his life. Anakin didn't feel like it was justice for what he had done, but he knew it wouldn't be right to kill him. He calmed down before turning and staring at Padme, tears flooding his face. Yoda marched towards her body and bent down slowly, placing his hand over her wound. Anakin was confused about what was happening. Within seconds, Padme coughed for breath and opened her eyes. She was alive, and her wound seemed to have disappeared. The Clone Wars swiftly concluded when the death of General Grievous on Utapau from the hands of Kenobi was reported. The Separatist army would be disbanded and the focus on peace reigned over the galaxy once again. The people of Coruscant were shocked to hear of Palpatine, but when video proof was presented of him proficiently wielding a red lightsaber, no one could argue the contrary. Palpatine was ultimately sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of getting out. Soon after, Padme was rushed into a medical bay where she gave birth to twins named Luke and Leia. Through the actions in the Chancellor's office, Anakin's secret marriage with Padme was revealed to the entire Jedi Council. However, the Jedi did not expel Anakin for this, but they were disappointed that he never told them. The Council explained to Anakin that in rare cases, Jedi and the Order were allowed to have families. The late Ki-Adi-Mundi had a family of his own, with a wife who is now widowed, and children. Anakin released a sigh of relief. At an early age, Luke and Leia would be indoctrinated into the Jedi Order. As the children of the Chosen Ones, their potential power and midi-chlorian count was extremely high. The future of the Jedi Order was in good hands. Anakin and Padme worked together to create a new and improved government for the galaxy. The Senate is reformed and made up of various representatives from different planets and species outside of the Republic. With peace and stability restored to the galaxy, Anakin and Padme are able to continue their work creating a better future. They travel to different planets, working with local leaders to improve living conditions and promote education and economic growth. Anakin, with his exceptional skills in lightsaber combat and his ability to connect with the Force, continues to act as a mediator and peacekeeper, preventing conflicts and promoting cooperation among different groups. He becomes a respected and beloved figure throughout the galaxy, known for his wisdom and fairness. Padme, meanwhile, becomes a leading figure in the new government when she is elected as Supreme Chancellor of the galaxy, working to promote equality and justice for all. She becomes a powerful advocate for the rights of marginalized groups, and her efforts lead to significant improvements in the lives of many. As Luke and Leia grow older, they too become involved in the work of creating a better galaxy. They both show an aptitude for the Force and are trained by their father in the Jedi Temple. Luke becomes a powerful Jedi Knight in his own right, while Leia becomes a skilled diplomat in the Jedi Order, working to promote peace and understanding amongst different planets and species. The Skywalker family continues to work together to create a more just and equitable society. They become known as the Skywalker dynasty, and their influence is felt throughout the galaxy for generations to come. As time goes on, Anakin and Padme grow old together and eventually pass away, surrounded by their loved ones. They leave behind a legacy of peace and prosperity that endures for centuries. The galaxy remembers them as the ones who brought balance to the Force and the ones who made the galaxy a better place for all. In this fictitious what-if scenario, Anakin's love for Padme ultimately saves her, and the Jedi are able to defeat the Sith and bring peace to the galaxy. Anakin's decision to trust his instincts and tell the Jedi Council about his suspicions of Palpatine ultimately leads to the downfall of the Sith and the preservation of the Jedi Order. This is the ideal scenario for Anakin Skywalker. The Sith are defeated and his wife and children are safe. I hope you all enjoyed today's video and believe the outcome to be realistic. I think we can all agree that we wish this was the true ending of Revenge of the Sith, that Anakin never fell to the dark side and lived out his days in happiness and peace with Padme. Let me know what other what ifs you would like for me to cover next. Thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.